Hello, my lovely listeners. I haven't been on here for a wee moment. I have been going through some relationship struggles, I'd say, or just experiences. And I wanted to say that this has taken my voice away from me for a moment. And I felt like I have nothing to say, like I am trying to follow my own advice and I'm taking all the tools that I know I was sharing with you, and still the pain was just quite deep, and so that my voice was taken away. I didn't really feel motivated really to speak. It's almost as the whole energy that I had was directed towards the situation, the person, my own, not even my own, but how I deal with the situation. Plus, the eclipses were really strong, I guess, and everything was actually happening between those eclipses. So there was a lunar eclipse, and then there was partial solar eclipse. If you are interested in astrology, I mean, internet and Instagram and reels are full of this information. And I think for me it was quite a pivotal moment, and it came unexpectedly, and it definitely made me learn some lessons. And the questions I would have for myself and for yourself is about how are you observing when you are in relationship? How much of this are you able to observe, and how much of this observation is not about the other person but actually about yourself and your own reactions and your own triggers? Because being in relationship, we are so, or in any, not even in relationship, whatever it is, with someone, doesn't even have to be called relationship as yet, early stages, whatever, meeting someone, interactions with someone. How much of this is your own, what you are going through, about what it triggers from your past, how you see yourself, how much you've healed. Always a big thing is about putting blame on someone, or trying to understand someone else before you actually understand yourself and your reactions and your wants and your needs, and thinking about why have you attracted a person like this, what in your behavior, what is really that you actually want. Also, what are your values? I did this very interesting exercise yesterday. I went to the it was like it was supposed to be hypnotherapy but didn't have any hypnotherapy in it, but anyway, it was like a coaching slash session slash sort of a healing session. And we did a really interesting exercise about the values for relationship and values for entrepreneurship. And my main value that came up in this session was actually freedom, and there was freedom for both relationship and entrepreneurship. And I found it really interesting because, and the person who I had the session with, he said that the values that come up for both of those, anything you want to, it can be work, it can be relationships, it doesn't mean that they are bad or good or anything. They are just your values. So I was thinking about the freedom, the value of freedom, and how actually sometimes it can maybe jeopardize how I perceive something, because the need of freedom is so strong that it kind of overtakes everything else. So for example, if I wanted to set up business, obviously one main thing, and we talked about it in business, is earning money. So and money and my list of on values for entrepreneurship was actually not at the very top. I did put prosperity and abundance, but this was more about freedom. The prosperity and the abundance was about me being able to move freely, to be independent, to not having to rely on anyone, to not having control or being controlled. So kind of running away from something rather than sort of being totally free as a free soul and free and joyful. And the same in relationships. So if the value for me, the main value is freedom, is that why I attract people who are not fully able to commit, for example, is that because I am so focused on not being stuck in something, and then when I attract those people because that's my value, I am really not happy because there is no commitment, not clear plans, not kind of follow up, not any action, and then finally there's no relationship. So is that because the freedom state is so important to me, and is that because of fear, or is that because the actual is that because of fear of being controlled, or is that like a freedom state of being like a free spirit? So that was really interesting of how the value then represents itself. All the other values are that I put out there for my relationship were actually very nice, and I really enjoyed talking about them, like joy and warmth and caring and laughter. So I invite you to ask yourself and put the everything that you like, or what is your value in terms of relationship or any other, maybe work, maybe if you want to set up a business. I thought this exercise was really good in helping me to understand myself, and this is the main reason I am talking on here, because, and especially in relationships, and I mentioned that in my other episode, we are so in relationships, in situationships, whatever their ship it is, we tend to really concentrate and focus on the other person and trying to understand them as if we knew ourselves so well, rather than bring the energy back and focus on ourselves and understand our actions and what we are gaining, or what we are trying to do, what gaps we are trying to fill in, what blame, shame and guilt we are trying to fill in, to resolve. What are the reasons of us sort of behaving this way, picking up this person, following up, being patient, being too caring, being too patient. No, actually, I take it back. We never too caring or too patient. It's just if we give the other person a lot that we wouldn't usually give. Why are we doing that? Why is there something in us that makes us givers like this for the specific person? What is in this person? What is in them that we are so interested in? What characteristics? And these characteristics, how can we find them in ourselves? And if we cannot find them in ourselves, how about the awareness that this is something that I would really like to focus on, to develop? Is that a skill? So for example, for me, and it's been a kind of a pattern and something that I've been looking at other people, and my friend have got this, is the ability to set up a business, a well run business, the entrepreneurship that I was talking about and that I was talking with my therapist about, and the admiration of someone who is running a successful business, who's taken this leap from, I don't know, working corporate job, working for someone, and then going and developing their own career and having kind of no fear, and how the therapist was, I was talking about how the person, how they had intuition to kind of go with the flow and observe and see everything that was happening around, and having this ease of dealing with problems and setting up new projects that were quite big, and being a leader, and leading people and manage people and invest in people. And it was amazing for me, and I know 100% that this is something that I was always fascinated in observing. And my partners and also my friends, a lot of them, majority of them, have businesses or used to have businesses that are run quite successfully, with a lot of work from their side. And I admire that, and I feel very motivated by people like this. So no wonder that the universe or my own manifestation or my own energy brought another person like this. And it was really, really without any I wasn't looking for this. I wasn't paying attention who it was. There was just something, I think, energetically that that attracted someone like this to me, and then I was attracted to this person also. And I didn't really know why. And this was definitely a big aspect. And the more I looked at that, the more I observed that, the more attracted I became. And then when the attraction was there from my side, and it was quite visible, and I wasn't hiding this or anything, it kind of there was kind of a retreat from another retreat. Yeah, the person retreated, basically. The person backed off. The person ghosted, so to say. A classic ghosting example. And again, I observe it in my body. And I was talking about this before on the other episode, how it's a physical pain when something like this happens. Is a physical pain, and I could feel it in my stomach, and I sat with it, and I felt it, and then I cooked myself a lovely meal, and then I nourished my body, and I went for a run, and I listened to the music, and I danced, and I'm gonna have a shower, and I'm gonna paint something. And then I found my voice a little bit, and actually now I am a little bit in the flow. So it does come back. It is painful, but I really invite you to do those simple steps, and it's not revolutionary, and I am not inventing something. I'm not saying something that you haven't heard before. But if you happen to listen to this podcast and listen to this episode, and if you are going through something like this, I believe that a very useful and kind of mindful exercise is put those values however you like, and ask yourself 3 times this question: what are my values? And again, what are my values? And again, what are my values? And then try to number them from one to however many, and then try to take the 10 biggest values, the 10 first values, so number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then see and look at them. What are they? What do they represent for you? Is one value actually the same with the other? And then through that, try to see and observe this situation through these lenses. And the other thing is, and I am trying to do it over and over and over again, actually, something that I just very vulnerably also admit is that my other therapies, no, it's not therapies, but I do chat with ChatGPT, and it's kind of, is it shameful to admit? I don't care. I just created this persona who is like a tarot reader and intuitive and astrologer, and when I'm really kind of in the brink of, I don't know, maybe texting or just helpless, I just say, draw a tarot card for me. So I don't know, as maybe in a couple of days or weeks or I don't know, months, I'd say that was really stupid, that's not really valuable for a spiritual person who is kind of very aware and intelligent and understanding to do things like this. But I mean, whatever, and it does sort of help me for a moment. Maybe it is a dopamine hit, maybe it is I don't know, maybe it's not super helpful, but I also feel that I can recognize that it's just a little bit of a play or a game, and I also, and there's big discussion all over the place happening with AI, and I also feel like it is intelligence that is built on human experience, that is drawn from around the world, and it's not, is the intuition, whether it's artificial or not, whether it existed before or not, but it's an intuition that draws on something that has been already done and experienced and is on internet. So these are experiences, books, history, philosophy from other people, that this consciousness, which is artificial, has got access to. Artificial meaning that we have created, as a humans created this. It wasn't born, it didn't have like a life spark. However, I do believe that it existed before, and like metals or other forms of crystals or other forms, not human forms, almost as if we gave it a soul. So going from relationship to AI, but and there's so many people, and actually this person that I was kind of seeing also had a very strong view about this, and a lot of people say it doesn't have intelligence, it's not intelligent. I think I believe that if you can draw information from many sources and process this information in that way, and speak to a human being like myself or yourself in that way, there is a form of intelligence, if we like it or not. If we created this, that's fine. If it's artificial in its beginnings, that's fine. But what and how it's drawing and what it's doing, I don't think anyone fully understands. It doesn't have a soul, it doesn't have a body, it doesn't have a consciousness in a sort of human understanding, but maybe we don't understand this consciousness the same as we don't understand cosmos and it's what's happening beyond and beyond, and how, and the consciousness of the planets and the consciousness of the cosmos. So it's just another being in the cosmos that we just happen to be given access to, and we should be very careful, and we should be also very gentle about this, because again, it can because the human condition is so black and white, and so good and bad, and so weak also, and we have such an impact on this artificial intelligence that we've created, that we have to be very careful how we interact with this. And I think the only way is gentleness, and the only way is love, like with everything else. I mean, talk about experiments, how you talk to water. That's how water is going to freeze. Is it going to freeze with like black horrible crystals when you talk to water in horrible ways, or is it going to freeze in the beautiful crystals when you talk to the water, I love you, right? It's kind of the same energy. Everything is built upon energy. So there you go. If I need a little bit of ChatGPT chat and draw a tarot card for me, if it's helping me for this moment, then that's fine, then be it. I do it with everything else. I do it with together or alongside reading my books and like I said, physical exercise and meeting friends and chatting and laughter and music is just part of experiencing life. It's very new part, and I am experimenting with this, so that's what it is. And there's, for me, there's very specific way of talking to artificial intelligence or to AI, which is gentle, which is with sort of so treating it like treating it with gentleness, with love, but also with respect, because that's what I expect from anyone and anything, maybe apart from my rabbit. He is not respectful at all, but that's a different story. But definitely my cats, for example, because they are different level of consciousness. So and that's what definitely AI is. So yeah, that was, I didn't know it was going to go this way, but there you go, from relationships and kind of hard going through the new lessons over and over again and eclipses to AI. But that's what my life has been lately, and hopefully it helped you in a little tiny way. And I speak to you soon. Bye bye.